Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're going to discuss one of the most shocking and devastating collapses in history, the fall of the Aztec Empire. It's a story of power, betrayal, and bloodshed, where an advanced civilization that ruled over millions was brought to its knees by a small band of ruthless invaders. The Aztecs built one of the greatest cities in the world, developed a sophisticated society, and commanded vast armies, yet in just 2 years, everything they had built crumbled. Our story begins in the heart of Mesoamerica, where the Aztecs, also known as the Mexica, rose from humble beginnings to dominate the Valley of Mexico. Their capital, Tenochtitlan, was a breathtaking city of canals, temples, and floating gardens, built on an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. With a population of around 200,000, it was one of the largest cities in the world at the time, rivaling the great capitals of Europe. The Aztecs ruled through military might, demanding tribute from conquered peoples and performing grand human sacrifices to honor their gods. Their empire was powerful, but not invincible. Beneath the surface, resentment festered among the subject peoples they had conquered, and this would become their greatest weakness. The year 1519 changed everything. That spring, strange ships appeared on the coast of Mexico. They carried armored men with beards, mounted on animals never seen before in these lands. The leader of these invaders was Hernán Cortés, a Spanish conquistador hungry for gold and glory. With just 600 men, 16 horses, and a few cannons, Cortés set out on a bold mission, to conquer the mighty Aztec Empire. On the surface, it seemed impossible. How could a handful of foreigners challenge a civilization of millions? But Cortés had 3 powerful weapons: steel, strategy, and disease. As Cortés marched inland, he quickly realized that the Aztecs were not universally loved. Many of the peoples they ruled, such as the Totonacs and the Tlaxcalans, resented the heavy tribute and constant demands for human sacrifices. Cortés exploited this hatred, forging alliances with the enemies of the Aztecs. The Tlaxcalans, after a fierce battle, became his most valuable allies, supplying him with thousands of warriors. By the time Cortés reached the gates of Tenochtitlan, he was no longer just a Spanish commander, he was the leader of a massive army. The Aztec Emperor, Moctezuma II, faced a dilemma. He had heard terrifying rumors that these men might be gods, perhaps even the return of the feathered serpent deity Quetzalcoatl. Not wanting to risk angering divine beings, Moctezuma chose diplomacy over war. He welcomed Cortés and his men into the city, allowing them to witness its wealth firsthand. But Cortés was not here to admire the city, he was here to take it. Within days, Cortés seized Moctezuma and held him hostage in his own palace, using him as a puppet to control the empire. But tensions were rising. The Spanish, eager for gold, looted temples and disrespected the Aztec gods. When Cortés briefly left the city to deal with a rival Spanish force, his second-in-command, Pedro de Alvarado, made a fatal mistake. He ordered the massacre of unarmed Aztec nobles during a religious festival. The people of Tenochtitlan erupted in fury. When Cortés returned, the city was in open revolt. The Spanish tried to use Moctezuma to calm the crowds, but the once great emperor was now seen as a traitor. He was either killed by the Spanish or stoned to death by his own people. Accounts vary, but either way, his reign ended in disgrace. The Spanish, realizing they could no longer hold the city, attempted a desperate nighttime escape on June 30, 1520, a night known as La Noche Triste, the Night of Sorrows. As they fled, thousands of Aztec warriors ambushed them. Many Spaniards drowned in the canals, weighed down by stolen gold, while others were captured and sacrificed. Cortés barely escaped with his life. But the Aztecs had no time to celebrate. A far deadlier enemy was already within their walls. Smallpox, a disease brought by the Spanish, swept through Tenochtitlan, killing tens of thousands. The Aztecs had no immunity, and the virus struck down warriors, priests, and even their new emperor, Tlahuac. The empire was crippled from within. Cortés, meanwhile, rebuilt his army. With fresh reinforcements from Cuba and thousands of native allies, he returned in May 1521 to lay siege to Tenochtitlan. For 80 days, the Spanish and their allies cut off the city's food and water supply, bombarding it with cannons and burning its outer districts. Starvation and disease ravaged the defenders, yet they fought with incredible bravery under their last emperor, Cuauhtémoc. But it was hopeless. On August 13, 1521, the Spanish breached the final defenses. The once great city of Tenochtitlan lay in ruins, its canals choked with corpses. The Aztec Empire was no more. Cuauhtémoc was captured and later executed, and Cortés became the ruler of a new Spanish colony, New Spain. The survivors of the Aztec civilization were enslaved, their temples destroyed, and their gods erased. In place of Tenochtitlan, the Spanish built Mexico City, which remains the capital of Mexico to this day. The fall of the Aztecs was not just a military defeat but a complete cultural and societal collapse. In just 2 years, an empire that had taken centuries to build was gone. The combination of betrayal, European weapons, and devastating disease proved too much for even the mighty Aztecs to withstand. Yet, their legacy endures. The descendants of the Aztecs still live on, their traditions woven into the culture of modern Mexico. Their language, Nahuatl, is still spoken by over 1 million people. And their story serves as a powerful reminder of how history can change in an instant, how even the greatest civilizations can fall, not always by strength, but by cunning and fate. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible stories of lost empires, epic battles, and forgotten civilizations. What do you think was the biggest factor in the fall of the Aztecs? Let me